Oh, hey, I'm on video. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds, and today I'm tired, I'm unshaven, and I don't care. I didn't want to do notes for this movie. Didn't want to write a script for my review of this movie because this movie for me was just frustrating to sit through. Today, we're going to be talking about The Nutcracker in the Four Realms. This movie is about a girl named Clara, and her mother has just passed away, and her whole family is grieving in their own different ways, and they're kind of having issues. And at Christmas, her mother had left them all gifts, and she leaves her daughter this golden egg that needs a key to be unlocked. It turns out that her godfather, Morgan Freeman, technically has the key, but at the Christmas party, he sends all the kids on this little adventure to get their presents. They have to follow these strands with their names on them. And he puts out a strand for her to follow into this magical land that her mother had created using toys. And as soon as she's about to get the key, a little mouse takes it and runs off. And half the movie's her chasing this mouse to get the key, and the mouse works for the supposed bad guy, Mother Ginger. That's Helen Mirren. And so the adventure is for her to get this key. She meets up with a Nutcracker soldier who's guarding a bridge, and because she's the daughter of the queen and possibly the new queen, I guess, he's going to help her get the key. And then they go and meet the other regents. There's 3 other regents. One of them is played by Richard E. Grant. And by the way, I'm going to talk about waste of talent here. Richard E. Grant's talent, wasted. Morgan Freeman's talents, wasted. Helen Mirren's talents, wasted. And Kiera Knightley is Sugar Plum in this. And normally I like Kiera Knightley in most movies I see her in. I've never really hated one of her performances. Her performance in this is the cringiest performance I've ever seen from her, and I think it's the worst performance of her career. Whether she's trying to act cute and sweet, or spoilers, when she ends up being the real bad guy, she's acting just, I don't know, the way she brings these tin soldiers to life. And I know I'm going to be a little all over the place with this one. Just bear with me. I have no notes. She brings these 10 soldiers to life. And all of a sudden she's talking to them like, "Let's go, boys." You know, her performance is just terrible in this. I couldn't... Look, when we first met her, we hadn't technically met the villain yet. Even though we saw her base of operations, which is this big, robot thing. And we hadn't met her. And even though we hadn't met her, once I met Kiera Knightley's character, I wanted Helen Mirren to win. That's how just hard she was to watch. And when she became the bad guy, which again was no real surprise, the way she was acting, it's like you're covering something up. And I know this movie's for kids, and maybe the kids wouldn't figure it out, but there's parts of this movie that, if it's for kids, you're treating kids like morons. And then there's parts of this movie that they have to explain with lots and lots of exposition, a lot of it coming from Kiera Knightley's character, mixed with ballet, because of course this is based on the Nutcracker ballet. So why not have some ballet in the movie? So there's a lot going on in this movie, but nothing really happens. I know that sounds weird and that sounds like it's contradicting itself, but basically we go from this girl knows nothing other than her mother's passed away to this magical world. Then she meets this friend that's supposed to be, or this Nutcracker that's supposed to be her best friend, and they, other than, you're my possible queen, I guess they're friends? I guess? And they are trying to get this key. Mother Ginger gets the key. they go to the other regents, and of course you can tell Kiera Knightley's going to be bad. And then they get all these soldiers. Oh, and there's this duo of soldiers that are guarding the castle that are, I guess, supposed to be important, but they end up not really being important. And then you've got they get these soldiers, and they all go to get the key. Well, most of the soldiers get swallowed up into the earth or beaten. And Clara ends up getting captured for like 2 seconds. And here's the thing about this movie. Everything happens, but then say there's a conflict, or a character's angry at another character, or there's just so many things that happen, then all of a sudden it's solved right away. Example, Clara gets mad at the Nutcracker and blames him for the bad guy getting the key. And she's like, it's your fault. I wanted to go home and you made me stay. And then like 2 seconds later, she's like, I'm sorry. Are we okay? Yeah, we're okay. Let's go beat the bad guys. It's just everything happened, and then it just kept moving. And I'm just sitting there going, this is pointless. This is a pointless movie. I'll give it some credit with its imagery, even though some of this imagery, if this movie's for kids, there's some stuff in this that scare the crap out of some kids. There's this main mouse, which is Helen Mirren's, like, I guess you could call this mouse her lieutenant, because he's always leading the missions of all these other mice. Well, all these mice gather up into one big Voltron mouse. And that's something I would love to see in a horror movie, and it's creepy. Also, Helen Mirren has these soldiers. You know those little dolls, or there's a doll with inside of a doll with inside of a doll? Well, there's like 6 or 7 characters that do this, and it's creepy too. And just the imagery's kind of creepy. I kind of wish this was a darker movie, like a rated R horror film instead. But really, just the story just keeps moving, and it's obvious. And like I said, either it's being overly simplistic, and kids would be like, I get it, you don't have to beat me over the head with it. Or they'll be like, I have no idea what's going on, and they have to explain everything. And I just found the balance of the movie to be way off. The movie was boring. I mean, it's only like an hour and 40 minutes. It feels like 2.5 hours because it's that slow and nothing really happens. Even when things are happening, it's just kind of meh. Wasted talent. The main character, I mean, Mackenzie Foy's only, I think, maybe 17, 18 years old. I don't know how many things she's been in. Her character, I got tired of her whining. She's supposed to be this, character that needs to learn to be strong and believe in herself. But half the time she's like, give me back my key. Give me back my key. And I just got tired of hearing her say that. And also, you kind of know how things are going to go because her character is like really smart with technical things. She knows how to fix clocks and things like that. And of course, this whole world is based within part of it. Is part of a clock because, like I said, it's this land of toys and things, and everything's based on mechanics. So of course, she's going to know how to stop everything when things go on. There's really just not a lot to say about this movie other than it's boring, and it's definitely a cash grab, and it's trying to be another Alice in Wonderland, and it's a poor man's Tim Burton version of it. And when you have all these characters, and like I said, a lot goes on, but it just goes by so fast that it doesn't matter. You kind of know how it's already going to end the second it starts. There's no real surprises. It's just a very boring movie, and it's not like it's so bad that it's like a London Fields where I have plenty of thoughts I need to make sure I highlight whenever I do this review. It's just, this movie just happens. And I didn't stay for the credits. I know they started showing parts of the more ballet stuff during the credits. I don't know if there was an after credit scene where Kiera Knightley's character vows revenge. I mean, she gets turned back into a porcelain doll at the end of the movie, so, you know, maybe they'll do something with that if they think they're going to get another one. But this movie is just a generic, boring attempt at turning a ballet into an adventure film. The action when it happens, other than the creepy imagery when it comes to like the mice, and then the tin soldiers are kind of creepy, but a lot of it just, the effects aren't the greatest. The effects on the mice are cool, but the effects on the soldiers, the tin soldiers, is kind of weak, and so nothing in this movie really works. There's better family films out there. If you can still see The House with the Clock in Its Walls, I would probably suggest over this. Or if you want something almost exactly like this, and even though I don't like the movie, watch Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland instead. It's just that kind of movie. And it's definitely Disney trying to cash grab on something like that. And there's not much more I can say about it other than it's dumb. It's just a dumb movie that, I mean, if Disney wasn't behind it, this would probably be a made-for-DVD movie. Anyway, that's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about this movie, feel free to talk spoilers. I don't care. And, you know, if you feel free to talk anything about this movie, you can leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I am your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. See you later.